I remember the first time I was on it was after I'd written my second book. And Across Indiana came out to where I lived in Indianapolis and did a show on that. And then we came out to Danville, and you interviewed my old algebra teacher, Rosemary Helton. And I hadn't seen Rosemary for some time, but she was there, and I'd written a story about her. And then she passed away shortly after that show was filmed. And she was just a wonderful lady. Well, to me, the genius of the show is its ability to capture the spectrum of Indiana and Hoosier life. One episode, you'd be way up out in the sticks somewhere, interviewing somebody who seemed to be a throwback to maybe the 1940s or 50s, and the next you're at a business doing something cutting edge. It was just really, I thought, captured the heart of Indiana. Oh, it's very gratifying, and it's interesting because when people read a writer's books, they don't know his voice or her voice. And Porch Talk changed that. And after those episodes started airing, I would be in a store, and I'd start talking to someone, a salesperson or another customer, and they'd cock their head and they'd say, "You're that guy on Channel 20, aren't you? I know your voice." So that was always fun, and it gave me something to talk about with people. But I really enjoyed doing that. That was something that I never envisioned happening to me, and it seemed to be a good marriage between the kind of thing I like to write about and the kind of thing Across Indiana like to show. So
Right.
it was very gratifying. No, I think it was a timely piece about our state's priorities in relation to education for our children and the kind of environment we create. And I not only think it was timely then, I think it's even more timely now when we face budget cuts for our kids and an education system that isn't properly funded in the state by efforts to cut our tax base. I think the current situation is short-sighted and selfish, and the piece said that clearly, and I would say those words again, if not stronger. Eric Hartvig was the Fellini of film.
Oh my God.
How's that?
That's great. Perfect.
Oh, the staff was exceptional, and I think the funnest one we did was when we went up and spent the day at Charlie Riggle's hardware store, and when we went to the bread basket and we all ate, and they fed us and they wouldn't let us pay. Anytime I get a free meal, I remember that.
Me too. Me too.
That was good food.
For the years.
Well, I never really worked with Michael, but of course I knew him from the show, and we had seen him. Our paths had crossed at different events. So one day I was up in Indianapolis at a concert. A guy was going to give a show, and I look around, and Michael is right behind me. And we get to talking, and somebody comes up to him and says, looks at him and says, "Hey, doesn't your little brother do Across Indiana?" I guess over the years, Mike, like all of us, he's gotten grayer. I've lost my hair, but he's gotten grayer, and we had a good laugh over that. But every time I saw Mike and worked with him on other events, he was always a consummate gentleman.